and excited to begin this learning journey today. This webinar is organized by London Borough Business College. LBBC is an educational institute focused on providing career-oriented and practical programs designed to support students and professionals in today's competitive environment. We offer courses in computing, management, education and training, health, and English, with a strong focus on real-world application and skill development. Dear students, I want to remind this. In addition to the main session, participants will benefit from a career guidance and pathway discussions to help plan their next steps. And also we will be issued an e-certificate for the participants. So be online, we need your information for that. Without taking more time, I will introduce to our speaker, Ms. Cheka Harishchandra. She is a former English lecturer at University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, currently reading for a Master of Philosophy at University of Kelaniya. Also, she holds a Bachelor's of Arts degree in English from the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Now, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Cheka Harishchandra, who will be leading today's webinar. Madam, over to you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. First, I hope you can see me. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. So let me share my screen first. Okay. Okay. I hope you can see the screen as well. Yes. So as Ms. Kavindi said, today's program is going to be on English and delivery skills, right? So before we start, I would like to set two ground rules. Do you know what ground rules are? Do you know what ground rules are? A ground rule, like when you're playing a game, there should be a set of rules you have to abide by. So in today's session also, I have two such rules. They are not rules per se, okay, but they are my expectations. So my first expectation is I want you to interact with me. I want you to talk with me. So when I ask you a question, you have to answer that question, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask, right? So that is my first expectation, because you know today's session is going to be a practical session. Our main objective is to speak, to learn how to speak. So if we don't interact, how can we learn how to speak? Because we are talking about English and delivery skills, right? So I want you to talk with me. That's the first rule. The second rule is LBBC told me to do this bilingually. Bilingually, as in, I'm going to use two languages, English and Sinhala, because you are coming from diverse backgrounds, right? So some of y'all are freshers, you could be undergraduates, professionals. So your level of English is also diverse. So in that regard, I'm going to use Sinhala and English. So if I'm talking about something complex, a complex concept, so I'm going to use Sinhala. So if you have any questions, I think that you might grab this opportunity and ask anything you want in English or Sinhala. Are you guys ready? Shall we start the session then? Okay, I'm asking you the first question. Are you guys ready? Can someone answer, please? Okay, no one's answering. Anyway, let's proceed. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second, please. Yes. So before we start, I would like to share my journey with you, right? So I was always not very fluent and confident in speaking English, right? I have my own struggles. I had my own struggles those days. So, if you can see this slide, yeah. So, yes. So, my journey, right? So, my journey started when I was back in UK. So, in 2002 or 2003, my father was doing a PhD in the United Kingdom. So naturally, I also had to go with him, right? So my biggest challenge was I had to go to school there, right? So when I was going to school, I did not know much English. I was not fluent in English, right? So the thing is, like when I was there, since I was not fluent in English, because I'm not hailing from a place, I'm not speaking English at home, right? So මගේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා ඒ දවස්වල නම් එහෙම ගෙදර සිංහලෙන් තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. එහෙම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කතා කරන කට්ටිය නෙවෙයි. So when I was there, it was a very unpleasant period for me. මට මතකයි සමහර දවස්වල මම උදේ නැගිටලා මම අඬනවා මට ඉස්කෝලේ මට යන්න බෑ. මොකද මට යාළුවෝ නැහැ. Because I was not speaking the language, they could not understand what I am saying and I could not also understand what they were saying. So it was very unpleasant to me. So ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත අපිට මට වෙච්ච දෙයක් තමයි we have these special programs, right? For Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, miss, we can hear you.
Yeah. I can see someone's writing something audio disabled. Can someone tell me like who's writing this? Hello? Hello? Okay. So I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. So we can proceed from there. So when I was there, we had these special programs for foreign students because they offered extra care for foreign students. ඒ කියන්නේ එන අපේ මේක එක foreigners ලා ආවට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට කතා කරන්න බැයි නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට interact කරන්න බැයි නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට special programs තිබුණා. So there I found this teacher called Mrs. Chopra. So you can see her here. Wait. So this little chap over here is me, right? So this is Mrs. Chopra, right? So what she did was she used this subtle method of teaching. She did not directly, tell me or teach me anything. හරිද? එයා කරේ, ඒ කියන්නේ after school I was taken to a classroom and she made me do stuff like play with stuff, play with dolls and building blocks, right? So I was completely distracted. So I was not giving my attention to speaking English. That was not, I was not putting any effort to talk in English. So because of that, I did not have any opportunity to be fearful. So as I said, I knew some letters, I knew some words, but my problem was I was not very confident in speaking English. So what she did was, while I was playing, while I was distracted, she was asking me a lot of questions, right? She was asking me about myself, about my desires, likes and dislikes, about my parents, right? So because of that, I became very confident in speaking. Right, this was so effortless. ඒ කියන්නේ යා මට කතා කරද්දි හරිද මට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අර මට තිබුණ ප්‍රශ්න ඒ කියන්නේ මම බයයි කතා කරන්න මම ලැජ්ජයි කතා කරන්න බය මේ වැරදෙයි කියලා අන්නේ fear එක තමයි නැති උනේ. එතකොට අපිට ගොඩක් කටියට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි අපි fearful අපි කතා කරන බයයි. අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නේ නැහැ නෙවෙයි අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරන්න බයයි. ඒ නිසා මෙන්න මේ මෙහෙම වුණාට පස්සේ කාලයක් තිස්සේ මෙහෙම වුණාට පස්සේ මොකක්ද දන්නවද උනේ මගේ fear එක නැති වුණාට පස්සේ I built a lot of friendships, right? Those days I said that I was crying that I don't want to go to school, right? But after some time when I built friendships I always wanted to go to school. So that was the difference. So that is the power of communication. So languages are for communication, right? So that is the main takeaway from my story, right? So as I said, committing a mistake is all right. Like when you're English learners or learners of any language, you are prone to commit mistakes. But what is the real mistake? The real mistake is not trying at all, right? That is the real mistake because everyone here is learning, including me. So I'm not perfect in my English. I'm also learning just like you, right? So English or any language is a skill. It's a lifelong skill, right? So that is what we have to do, right? Do you have any questions thus far? Anything unclear thus far? Everything is clear. Everything is clear. Okay. I wanted to do some activity, right? දැන් මම ඔයගොල්ලන් අහන්න හදනවා. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැමෝම මෙතනට ආවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ මොකටද? ඉගෙන ගන්නනේ. ඔයගලන්ට ඕනේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒකනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙතනට ආවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ. මම ඔයගොල්ලන් අහුවොත් එහෙම ඇයි ඔයගලන්ට ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන? Why do you want to learn English? Is there a specific reason for that? Can you unmute and tell me why you want to learn English? Why do you want to learn English? Yes? Anyone? So you're violating my first rule. Can anyone tell me? No? Mouth zipped. Hello. I can see a lot of text on the screen. Why is it? Okay, let's see. Let's see the common reasons. අපි බලමු ඇයි අපිට ඇත්තටම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ වෙන්නේ. What is the first one? Why do you want English? Why do you want English? for work, right? For job opportunities. Because when you go to a job, English is a prerequisite in countries like this. So we were under colonial power for some time. So English is our lingua franca or the linking language. So because of that, and because English is a global language, we always need English, right? In our workplaces, right? So the first thing is we want English for the workplace. Can you tell me one other reason as well? What are the other reasons? Why do you want English?
For me, I am a university student.
Right.
To answer the exams properly, we need
To answer the
English.
exams properly. Yeah, that's true. Right. You want English for
higher
education.
studies.
To improve.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Can I know your good name, please?
I'm Malaka.
Can you repeat, please?
Malaka.
Malaka. Okay. Thank you very much, Malaka. Okay. So Malaka is saying that we need English for education. Any other reasons?
Communicate easily with others.
Communicate easily with others. That's also true. We need English for communication, right? So we talked about the workplace and then education, and for communication, what else?
For our career advancement.
For career advancement, that's also true. For the workplace again, right?
And to explore the other cultures.
To
and
explore
places.
other cultures, for cross-cultural understanding, right? That's also true. So these are the common reasons as to why you want to learn English, right? For jobs, for study, to speak with other people, to build confidence. When you can speak in a language, you build confidence, right? And to have friends, to have connections, because we are social animals, right? So do you know Aristotle? Have heard of this guy called Aristotle?
Yes,
Who has
I know.
heard? Yeah, Aristotle has said that we are social animals. We want to communicate with others. So in order to build connections, to build friendships, we want English or any other language. In this regard, we want English. Okay, so that is why we want English, right? So can you tell me, so when we say that we know English, okay, we know any language, what do you mean by that? How do you measure whether you know a language? කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ මම දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නවා කියලා කිව්වට පස්සේ අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඔව් මාළක ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නවා කියලා අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන්. අපි කොහොමද මාළක ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නවා කියලා කොහොමද මෙෂර් කරන්නේ අපි? කොහොමද මෙෂර් කරන්නේ?
So speaking, reading, listening, writing.
ඔව් අපි කියනවා listen කරන්න මේ අහන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන, ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. එහෙම විතරද? අපි මොකක්ද ඇත්තටම බලන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන්? අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නවා කිව්වම. අපි මොකක්ද බලන්නේ? We think that if we know the grammar of a certain language, right? We think we know the language. That is our main metric. If you know grammar, you know the language. Is this true?
No, I think it is not true.
It is not. Why is it not true?
Vocabulary is important.
Okay, vocabulary is important, and language, that is also grammar again. Yeah. So grammar is the only element. Is it the only metric?
No.
Actions.
Yes.
Actions.
Actions. Yeah. Okay. Body language. What else? What else?
Phrasal verbs.
Could you repeat that, please, again?
Phrasal verbs.
Phrasal verbs, again, grammar. So that is our main misconception. We think that we need to know grammar to communicate. So if I tell you a sentence like this, just assume that I am telling you this sentence. I, night yesterday, dinner had. So is this grammatically correct?
No.
I, night yesterday, dinner had.
No.
No. So you are saying that it's not grammatically correct. Could you understand what I told you?
Yes.
Yes.
So how is this happening then? So I'm not using perfect grammar, but you understood what I said. So what is this?
It's based on the words.
Tense
On the
and
words,
format.
but still my message was conveyed to you, right?
Hmm.
So, you know, the focal point of a language is not being grammatically correct, but you have to convey. The communication is the focal point of any language, right? So, just because you know grammar, that is not going to solve anything. You have to communicate properly. So, that is why I told you that grammar is only one element. right එතකොට මං කිව්වා වගේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන් දන්නවනේ ඉස්සර කාලේ ඉඳන් දැන් මිනිස්සු ඉද්දි so අපේ civilization from the dawn of civilization we have a lot of inventions right we found the wheel we found fire right we found edibles මොනවද කන්න පුළුවන් මොනවද බැරි කියලා මෙහෙම කරද්දි අපේ ගොඩක් මිනිස්සුන්ට උනා sacrifices කරන්නනේ සමහර කට්ටිය කාලා poisonous දෙයක් කෑවොත් එමෙ මැරෙනවා එහෙම කෑවේ නැත්නම් තමයි හොයාගන්නේ edible දෙයක් කියලා එතකොට මෙතන මොකද්ද තියෙන්නේ අපි try කරලා තියෙනවා trying matters right try කරේ නැත්තම් අපි දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසි වැරදි හරි අපි දැන් grammar ම අල්ලගෙන අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරේ නැත්තම් මොකද වෙන්නේ would we be here today අපි communication වලට language එකක් හදාගන්නේ ඇයි මොකද අපේ දේවල් කියන්නේ grammatical correct වෙන්න නෙමෙයි අපේ දේවල් කියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ we should be able to communicate right ඒ නිසා අපි පළවෙනියටම කරන්න ඕන grammatically correct grammar accuracy එකට කලින් අපි කරන්න ඕන මොකක්ද දන්නවද අපි කොහොමෙන් හරි කතා කරන්න ඕන so I'm pretty sure that you are watching these Korean teledramas and Hindi movies do you watch
Yes.
Yes.
yeah Korean drama K-drama fans here
I do.
yeah
I
you
do.
do right okay that's great right so sometimes even though you don't understand any word you still can understand what they mean, right? Do you have this
Yes.
experience? Why is
Yes,
it?
yes.
Why is it?
It's because we watch a lot of things that are the same thing. So we understand what they say.
You understand what they
Emotional-
say, exactly.
Emotional
Yes.
connection.
Emotional connection. You can see how they move their hands and their legs and their faces, right? The body language, right? You can still understand, right?
And the
So like
background music.
sometimes, yeah, yes.
And the background music.
The background music, a lot of modes of communication, right? But sometimes, like when you listen to something, you try to speak in that language as well, right? You try to say kamsamnida, anya haseo, right? Do you use this?
Yes.
Namaste, right? So if you commit a mistake when you're using Hindi or Korean, do you feel ashamed? Do you feel ashamed?
No.
Do you feel nervous when you're talking in Hindi? Do you?
No.
Why is it? So some people are very scared to speak in English, but they're not very scared to speak in Hindi. ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරොත් තමයි බය වෙන්නේ. අනේ දැන් වැරදිද දන්නේ. හින්දියෙන් කතා කරන්නේ එහෙම නැහැ. ඇයි? ඇයි කියලාද ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේ එහෙම වෙන්නේ?
Because we are learning. So we have to speak.
We have to speak. මං කියන්නේ මෙතන වෙන්නේ because we have attached a sense of social status to English because as I said we were under the colonial power. So we think that if we commit a mistake in English, that's going to be a grave thing, a terrible thing. But when we are learning something else, it is not that, right? So what we have to do is we as students and learners and teachers, we have to understand that English is just another language, just like other languages, right? We have to treat English as a language first, not as a social status. English භාෂාවට අපි treat කරන්න ඕන තවත් භාෂාවක් විදිහට. භාෂාවක් තියෙන communicate කරන්න. එතකොට අපි බය වෙනවද ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරන්න? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ දැන් මේ තියෙන මෙතන screen එකේ have you ever known the answer but stayed silent? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට සමහරවල්ලාට presentations වල එහෙම කියන්න ගොඩාක් දේවල් ඇති. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන් universities වල ඉන්නවා නම් ඉස්කෝලේ හිටියා නම් presentations වල you have a lot to say but you are silent. Do you have a similar experience? Who has a similar experience?
I have.
You have. Why is it, Malaka?
I think I am fear to public speaking.
Yeah, you have a fear about public speaking, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain why? What do you feel when you talk?
I think I will make some mistakes in front of the gathering. Therefore, I think I feel ashamed.
You feel ashamed. Do you feel the same shame for Hindi or Korean or French or anything like that? Sinhala?
No.
Why is it there? What is the distinction? What is the difference?
Difference I think from our colonial period, from
Yeah.
on we are studying English,
Mm-hmm.
but the example for we can take Hindi, but Hindi we often not use. That's why then I can okay with Hindi, speak Hindi, but quite a difference English because we from our childhood we are studying English, no. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I think.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that, Malaka. Right. So this is the thing, right? So when it comes to a competence in a language, so we, as I said, we are measuring our fluency in English using what? Using grammar. So when it comes to competence, grammar is just one thing. That is what we call the linguistic competence, right? Grammar, what else? Vocabulary, what else? The structures, sentence structures, syntax, those are just linguistic competence, right? Then what do we have? Secondly, we have something called a communicative competence. What is it? Communicative competence is knowing when to use the language, where and when to use the language. So just think, you are perfect in grammar. You have like fluent English, right? But you don't know where to use the language. Can you use the same language you use at home, at school? Can you talk with your teacher in the same way? Can you call her Machang or something? Can you?
No,
Dude,
no,
can you say dude? No? Why is it?
no. Because the school is use a very polite language,
Very polite
but
language. Yeah.
but
So you,
home is use very familiar, so
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
any issue, so doubt about that.
Yeah. So what about the body language? Can you like swing your hands everywhere when you're talking to a priest or
Mm,
reverend? So when we are talking with our friends, we are moving our hands like we have our own, way of speaking. But can you do that with the reverend or priest?
no, no way.
No. Why is it?
Because the body language is very we have to use the very polite way
In a very polite way. So
because
communicative
they
competence
can
is,
measure our they can measure our discipline, and they can measure that.
yes, exactly. Thank you very much. So as she said,
You're
we
welcome,
can,
miss.
yes, yes.
You're welcome.
Okay, right. So that is the communicative competence. So you have to know the language, and secondly, you have to know where to use the language and how to use the language. That is the communicative competence. The third type of competence is what? Can you guess? Can someone guess? It is related to today's session. What is it?
Speaking confidently.
Speaking confidently. Yeah, kind of connected. You're
Uh,
getting there.
they don't know how to deliver.
Exactly, the delivery competence, right? You have to know how to deliver it. So when it comes to delivery, we have to think about the voice, our pace, that means the speed, right? Our confidence, right? Our posture, how we sit, right? Everything matters when we're communicating with someone. As I said, our voice, our intonation, right? What else? Confidence, our body language, right? How we use our hands, everything matters. So that is the delivery. So if you say that someone is good in a certain language, if you're a good English learner or a student in English, we have to measure it by these three elements, these three ways. The first one is the linguistic competence. You have to know your grammar, the structures, and everything. And then you have to know what? What's the second one? We talked about the second one. What is it? The communicative competence. You should know where to use the language. And thirdly, the delivery competence. Do you have any questions up to now regarding the things I told you? මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? ඔයාලට සිංහලෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන්, ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන්. මම නම් එච්චරයි ලොකුවට දන්නේ. වෙන languages මම try කරලා බලන්න. මොනවද අහන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවද? මුකුත්ම ප්‍රශ්න නැද්ද?
All good.
All good. What about the other people? Only Malaka and can I know the name of that girl who talked like some time back?
Kirutika.
Kirutika.
Yes.
Okay. Kirutika and Malaka only talking. What about the other people? Can someone else talk as well? No. Don't want to do it. Okay, anyway. So these are your fears. The fears you talked about. Grammar mistakes, right? Pronunciation mistakes. You might think that your friends are going to laugh when you're speaking, right? You might have unpleasant school memories, right? Or thinking in the mother tongue. So this is also something very important. Sometimes you think in the mother tongue. So in our sentence structures in Sinhala, what is the sentence structure we have? අපේ සිංහල භාෂාවේ sentence structure මොකක්ද? කොහොමද අපි subject එකයි අපි කියන්නේ අපේ උක්තාක්‍යත් සම්බන්ධ කොහොමද තියෙන සිංහල භාෂාවේ? order එක මොකක්ද? What is the order? කවුරු දන්නවද?
Object, verb.
Subject, object, verb. SOV. English වල මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ?
Subject, verb, object.
Subject, verb, object. දැන් අපි සිංහලෙන් හිතුවොත් එහෙම මම බත් කනවා. I rice eat. Is it correct?
It's not grammatically correct.
What? I eat rice. It should be SVO. So if we keep on thinking in the mother tongue, in the Sinhala language, and if we keep on translating it, is it going to be successful?
Oh, it's something hard to translate into English.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So we should not do it. We should think in English language, right? And then the speaking speed. Sometimes we talk in a very speedy manner, right? Like we talk very fast sometimes. Nobody can understand what we are saying, right? Or you speak like a snail, right? Like, nobody can understand that either, because you say one word now and next day you say the other word. So it's not going to work as well. So you have to have a moderate speed, right? So do you have any other fears than these? Grammar mistakes, pronunciation mistakes? Can you share with us? What are the other mistakes you have? Other fears you have in English? තව තියෙන මොනවද තියෙනවා fears? බය හිතන දේවල් මොනවද තව? මාලකයි හිරුතිකයි අරගෙන කවුරු හරි කතා කරනවද?
What other people will think about us?
What other people will think? Okay, yeah, that's also true. Yeah, what else?
Others are going to make mistakes
Others are going to make mistakes regarding what?
regarding when we are speaking. Others are going to correct our mistake. No, then
Okay, yeah, okay. You have this correction paralysis, right? So let's talk about it in some time, So the thing is, our power is actually, so when we are thinking about some language, when we are fearful, when we are scared to speak in a certain language, what we are thinking is, what if I'm wrong? So as a lot of people told already, we are thinking that what if I'm wrong? මට වැරදුනොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අනිත් කටේ hina වෙයිද? ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනවාරි කියයිද මට? හරිද? ඒක තමයි අපේ ඔළුවේ හැම වෙලාවෙම යන්නේ. එහෙම හිතන්න අපිට කතා කරන්න බැරි වෙනවා. දැන් අර ඉස්සර මං කිව්වා වගේ අර මං අර හේද්දිත් අර UK වල ඉද්දිත් එහෙම මං කතා කරේ නැත්තම් මං බය වෙලා හිටියා නම් එහෙම අඬ ගෙදර හිටියා නම් එහෙම මං හිතන් ඉන්නේ what if I'm wrong? ඒගොල්ලෝ මට hina වෙයි. හැබැයි learn කරන කෙනා, ඉගෙන ගන්න කෙනා මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? එයා කියන්නේ let me try. හරිද? ඒගොල්ලෝ try කරලා බලනවා. හැමදාම try කරලා බලනවා. කවුරුත් hina වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කවුරු hina වුණත් අපිට කවන්නේ නැහැ කියලා අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? අපි try කරලා බලන්න ඕනේ කරන එක. හරිද? දැන් අපි කතා කරා about the grammatical competence and what? The delivery competence as well. Right? දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතන විදිහට මට කියන්න අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරනකොට අපි ලොකු මේ මොනවා හරි words එක භාවිත කරන්න ඕනද හැම වෙලාවෙම. කියන හොඳ English speaker කෙනෙක් වෙන්න නම් we have to use a very complicated language. Is it necessary? අපි සිංහලෙන් එහෙම කරනවද? කියන හොඳට සිංහල කතා කරනවා කියලා අපි නිකන් එහෙම ගොඩාක් බරපතල විදිහට සිංහල කතා කරනවද? අම්මේ මට බත් අනුභව කරන්න ඕනේ එහෙම කියනවාද? අම්මේ මට කන්න ඕනේ කියන්නේ නැතුව. කියනවාද එහෙම කවුරු හරි ගෙදරදී? මෑණියනි මට බත් අනුභව කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම කියලා ඉන්නවද? කවුරුත් නැද්ද?
I think none of us.
None of us, right? So that's not necessary, right? So just think about this. So I'm going to give you an example. So there are two student A and student B, right? So the first person is saying, according to my opinion, this matter is not very satisfactory, right? So a lot of words, right? A lot of concepts. So the student B says, I don't think this works. We need to change it. So what is more effective? When you take these two sentences, what is more effective? What do you understand first? What do you understand? The first one is, say, according to my opinion, this matter is not very satisfactory, when you're giving a comment about something. And the second one says, I don't think this works. We need to change it.
Second one
Let's
can
say-
easily understand
Why is it?
because
Can you tell me why is it?
it use simple words.
Yeah, pardon? I couldn't hear what you said.
Understand all. Okay.
It use simple words.
Simple words, yeah.
And convey the message, no?
Convey the message. Any other answers? මොනවද තව answers තියෙනවද?
It's easier for people who are still learning English to understand. So, like
Exactly.
student B, it's easier.
It's easier to understand, right? Okay. Any other answers? So what are the ingredients we have? So yeah, have you watched Powerpuff Girls when you were small? Powerpuff Girls? The cartoon? No? Nobody. So in Powerpuff Girls, we have this incident that they're making a potion. So they are putting the perfect ingredients of the potion to make the Powerpuff Girls. Right? So what are the perfect ingredients in this? First, we have simple language, and then we have confident delivery. So what are the main ingredients? What are the main ingredients? We have to, yeah? Yes? We have confident delivery in one hand. On the other hand, we have
Simple language.
simple language. So when you're talking, when you're speaking with someone, you can always use simple language. But if you want to talk about something complex, you can use when it's necessary. You can use some sophisticated language only when it's necessary. Not always. It's not necessary always, right? So just because you use sophisticated language, you don't become who? A good what? English speaker, right? Did you understand? Did you
Yes,
understand?
yes.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Okay, so English is not grammar first. So when we are acquiring English, we have to listen first. So how do you listen? You can listen to your friends, right? You can listen to your teachers. You can watch movies, right? There are a lot of ways, like you can listen to songs, right? You have to listen first. You have to be familiar. You have to be familiar with the language. උලා අහන්න ඕන හැම වෙලාවෙම. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ? හැවුවට පස්සේ අපේ ඔළුවේ අපිට ඒක ඉන්ටර්නලයිස් වුණාට පස්සේ මොකද්ද අපි කරන්නේ? We start speaking. අපිට අහන්න නැතුව මොනවත් කරන්න නැතුව grammar ටිකක් විතරක් ඉගෙනගෙන tenses with passive voice ඒ ටික විතරක් ඉගෙන අපිට ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපේ internalize වෙලා නැත්නම් structures අපේ ඔළුවේ. පුළුවන්ද අපිට කතා කරන්න?
No, miss.
No, why is it?
Because you're only learning the complicated part about English. You still don't know how to speak it properly.
You don't know how to speak it properly. Exactly. Okay. So what can we do then? How do we start? What do you normally do? How do you get yourself familiarized with English? මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ familiarize කරගන්න කරන්නේ? සාමාන්‍ය daily life එකේ මොනවද කරන්නේ? Day to day life මොනවද කරන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ? මොකද කරන්නේ?
First, we need to speak a simple conversation.
Simple conversations, yes. That's one thing.
Listening.
Listening. මොනවද අහන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ? What do you listen to? Podcasts. That's good.
Movies or songs?
Movies or songs. What kind of podcast do you listen to? Can you like enlighten us? Do you have a specific niche?
Motivational speech and TED
Motivational
Talks.
speech. Yeah. Yeah.
Shadowing practice.
Yeah. So English is already in your life, right? This is not very, this is not strange to you. So you are already in this community, right? So you know what English is. You are kind of familiar with English. So I don't think that this course or this session is going to be difficult to you, right? Okay. So now let's think about how we acquire a language or English. How do we acquire language? What do you have to keep in the back of your mind when you're acquiring a language? Can you be a good English speaker overnight? So you learn English today and tomorrow, like you are in this session today, and tomorrow, from tomorrow, if you're a beginner, you can start speaking in English like Shakespeare. Is it possible?
No,
No.
you need experience.
You have to experience it, and it's gradual, right? It's not instant. It's a gradual process. So in a process, you have what? What do you have? What do you have in a process?
Step by step improving.
Yeah,
Step by step improving.
step by step. There are so many steps, right? So English language acquisition is also like that. You have different steps. So you have to start somewhere from the scratch, maybe, or from somewhere in the middle. But still, you have to start somewhere. It's a gradual process. What is the second thing?
Practice.
Yes.
Practice.
Practice, right? So in order to know a language, right, you have to practice. And English language acquisition is also a you can see a development in language learning, right? So as I said, it's a process, and what? And you can always encounter errors in this development phase, right? So ඔගොල්ලන් අපි ගත්තොත් එimhe errors කියන එක. ඒ කියන්නේ වැරදි කියන එක ඔගොල්ලෝ කොහොමද ගන්නේ? ඔගොල්ලෝ වැරදි කියන එක do you take it as a negative thing or a positive thing?
Positive things.
Positive thing. So is there anyone who's taking it as a negative thing, as a failure?
No.
Nobody. Great. Right? So we need errors. Like you know what trial and error is, right? So you have to commit certain mistakes to know. As I said, like from the dawn of civilizations, to find what is edible, we have to eat it, right? Some people have to die, right? Some people have to sacrifice their lives. Just like that, you have to commit certain errors, commit certain mistakes to know what is right, what is correct English, right? Okay, do you understand what I said just now? කාට හරි තේරෙන්නේ නැති කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. මම කියපු දේ මොකද්ද මේ කිව්වේ කියලා. මොනවද මෙයා මේ
Yes.
කියන්නේ? You understood, yes. What's your name?
Sajid.
Saja, okay. Other people? I want everybody to interact.
Understood.
Understood, right? So, as I said, this is part of a development, right? So, in this development phase, you have something called the interlanguage. Do you know what an interlanguage is? Interlanguage. So, we are going to talk about translations, right? So before that, we have to know what an interlanguage is. What is an interlanguage? So,
interlanguage is a temporary language system. Learner creates while
yes,
learning.
exactly. So in a society like this, English is the second language, right? We have the first language. What is our first language? It could be either Sinhalese or what? Tamil, right? But some people might like hear from families who are speaking in English as well. But still, like commonly, we are either using English or Sinhala, right? Am I correct? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ලංකාවේ පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ එක්ක සිංහල පාවිච්චි කරනවා නැත්නම් ඉංග්‍රීසි පාවිච්චි කරනවා. එතකොට අපේ L1 language 1 එක වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? මොකද්ද?
Sinhala.
Sinhala or Tamil, right? L2 කියන්නේ මොකක්ද එතකොට? Second language. What is our second language?
English.
English language, right? එතකොට අපි මේකේ transition එකක් වෙන්නේ අපේ. අපි මොකක් හරි second language එකක් acquire කරද්දී අපේ transition එකක් වෙන්නේ. And within that period we develop something called the interlanguage, right? An internalized system of language. So is this L1? Is this Sinhala or Tamil? Is this a
No.
completely solely Sinhala or Tamil?
No, it's a different language.
Different, but not Sinhala or Tamil. Or is this English? Solely English.
Could be. Could be.
Could be not as well, right? Something in between, right? The transition phase. So this is what we call the interlanguage, right? So what is the problem with interlanguage? Interlanguage is very beneficial in a lot of ways, right? Because we are learners. What is the problem with interlanguage? That is where we are stuck at the moment, most of you. What do you think is the problem? What is the problem?
Mother tongue influence.
Mother tongue influence. Yeah, exactly. One. Any other answers?
Limited vocabulary.
Yes, limited vocabulary. Two. Tava? Monati.
Pronunciation.
Yeah?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Yeah. Okay.
Grammar errors also can be happening.
Grammar errors. Yeah. So if we actually think about it, there are categories, right? The first one is overgeneralization. So in Sinhala, you say Eya giya, Mama giya, right? Aya giya. Giya is like it's generalized, right? You don't have any, you can say giya, aya giye, but still in English, you can say she goes to the class. Can you say I goes? So if you take one word and
No.
think this is general to everything, you can apply this to anything. Is it correct?
No.
No.
Because when we are forming rules, we have to know about the exceptions as well. I go, she goes, right? So how can you know this? Only by learning and using it, right? So that is the first thing, overgeneralization. What is the second one?
Fear
In
of
any
speaking.
yeah. In any language, we have something called tenses, right? What is a tense? Why do you want tenses in languages, in grammar?
For the time difference.
For time difference, you want to know when this happened, right? When some instance happened, right? So what happens in, like, when I say, just take an example like this. Yesterday I go. Is this correct? Ye mama
No.
gaya. No, right? You
Yeah.
have to know if it's yesterday I what?
Went.
Yesterday I went. So if you have not internalized this grammar system, right, you are prone to commit what? Mistakes and tense confusions, right? So that is the second thing. So are you familiar with these mistakes? Have you done those like in your life? Iskola hari, university hari, kawada hari mein tense confusion on. When to use present perfect tense, when to use present tense, when to use future tense. Is this confusing sometimes?
Yes.
Why is it confusing?
Sometimes.
Why is it confusing? So when you're at school, you are just, they just come and just blabber out. You say this is present perfect, this is future perfect. So sometimes in Sri Lankan system, mostly in school, we are not taught when to use this tense. මේ tense එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ තැන මොකද්ද කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ හරියට. හරිද? එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපිට එකපාරටම ඔළුවට එන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද අපි ගොඩක් රට කරන අර මම කිව්වා වගේ interlanguage situation එකකින් translate කරන ගමන් අපි ඉන්නේ. එතකොට අපිට එකපාරටම එන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතට දානවා tense එක මොකද්ද කියලා. එතකොට එන්නේ මොනවද? Tense confusions එනවා. What is third one? Third one. So have you, like, when you're listening to influencers, have you ever heard something like, she's the most prettiest one ever. She's the most prettiest girl ever. Have you listened to anyone anything like this? She's the most prettiest. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
Most and prettiest.
You cannot have both, right? You can have only prettiest, the prettiest, right? So what is this? This is article misuse. You don't know when to use definite articles, right? You don't know when to use superlatives, comparatives, right? So this is something called the article misuse, right? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? So just think your L1 is Sinhalese. And when you're using English, this happens. Why is it? What could be the most common reason? Sometimes, like, some people don't use, like, articles at all. Articles පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. earth නෑ, dirt නෑ, මොනවත් නෑ. ඇයි ඒ? මොකද අපේ L1 එකේ අපිට articles නැහැ. අපේ Sinhalese language අපේ සිංහල භාෂාවේ අපිට articles කියලා දෙයක් නැහැ. එතකොට අපි කෙලින්ම translate කරද්දි මොකක් හරි එයා තමයි ලස්සනම කියලා කිව්වට එතන article එකක් නැහැනේ. She is the prettiest කියලා the කියන එක තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි කෙලින්ම translate කරද්දි අපිට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? The එක අපිට ඕනි කියලා හිතනවද? The එකක් ඕනි කියලා දෙන්න. She is prettiest කියලා නිකන් ඉන්න බැරිද?
No.
No, you can't. You have to have the, right? So when you are translating from L1, sometimes you drop those articles, right? So that is a third one, common mistake. What is the fourth one? You don't know where to use the prepositions. You familiar with this?
Yes.
Who is having this problem when you're using prepositions? When to use over, on, in, at, into, onto, out
Sometimes
of.
I am.
Sometimes. Yeah, you have this issue, right? Even I had this issue when I was at school, right? So you should know where to use the prepositions, right? This is also related to translation because when you're translating from something from a language where you don't have those complicated prepositions, you are not used to use this, right? So ඔයාගේ L1 එකේ ඔයා මෙහෙම prepositions දාලා කතා කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔයා ඒක translate කරද්දී ඔයාට මේක හරි strange එකක් වෙනවා. Right? So that is the prepositional misuse. So what are the things we talked about today? Now, with regard to errors, what is the first error? What is the first error?
Grammatical
Overgeneralization.
mistakes.
Yeah, grammatical mistakes like overgeneralization, right? Second one?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. I'm just talking about like the grammatical elements we talked about now. Overgeneralization, tense confusion. What? Article misuse and
Prepositions missed.
prepositions, right? So everybody is making mistakes, right? Everybody. At some point in our lives, we have made a mistake, right? So how do we treat these? So like if you make a mistake and you're like, okay, I'm done with my life, okay, I should go and jump to a river or something. Is it like necessary? How should you treat this?
We have to do more practice.
You have to do more practice, like you have to practice more, right? What else?
Yeah. Learn from your mistakes.
How do you learn from your mistakes? That is a very important question. How do you learn? What do you learn?
If you made a mistake in English.
Yes, two people are talking at once. Can we go one after the other, please?
Learn well correct way.
Yes. What do you learn from your mistakes? What exactly?
You learn to not do them again.
How? How do you detect it? Like how do you know it's a mistake?
Others might judge you. Some people might say it's
how
wrong.
do you know it's a mistake first? Like before thinking about others, how do you know whether it's a mistake?
We should know how to correct use that.
Yeah. So in order to detect a mistake, we should always compare that with the authentic input, right? We should listen to native speakers, maybe. Right? We have to be, we have to scrutinize our language. Like අපි කතා කරද්දී අපි හැමදාම scrutinize කරන්න ඕන. කියන්නේ මේක හරිද මේක වැරදිද අපි check කරන්න ඕන. අපිට thesaurus තියෙනවා, we have dictionaries. So we always have to compare our language with authentic input or native input, right? So that is the first way whether we can know we are committing mistakes or not. That is the first one, right? What is the second one? When we are making mistakes, we can see something. What is it? We can see patterns, right? Can you see patterns when you're making mistakes in a language? So how did we categorize like overgeneralization, confused? These are categories, right? How did we categorize like that? Because we detected the patterns, right? අපි pattern එක recognize කරා. දැන් අපි එහෙම බලනකොට අපිට තේරෙනවා අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම අපි කියන articles විතරයි අපේ වැරදෙන්නේ. අපි ඔක්කොම අනිත් දේවල් ටික හරි. Rest of the language is perfect, but we don't know how to use articles. එහෙම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඔයාගේ දිගටම ඔයාලට වැරදෙන්නේ articles නම් you detect a pattern there. Pattern recognition. Right? එතකොට මොකද්ද අපි කරන්නේ? අපි මුළු ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකටම මේ කියෝ කර කර ඉන්නද? ඒක රිසෝල්ව් කරන්න හදනවා නැත්නම් අපේ වැරදෙන තැන විතරක් හදනවා. මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? When you can analyze patterns, what do you do? Hello? When you can analyze patterns, what to do? What to do? You understand that these mistakes are not isolated, right? They are part of the pattern. So in order to, solve something like that, you have to resolve the pattern. Only by resolving the pattern, what happens? You can resolve what? Only if you adjust the pattern, you can actually resolve the mistake, right? Am I correct or am I wrong?
Correct.
Correct,
correct.
right? Okay, so first you compare that with native input, right? Then you recognize patterns, right? What is the third thing?
Correct the mistake.
Yeah, you have to be consistent, right? So you correct something today, and if you are committing the same mistake tomorrow, is there any use of that? If you can't remember,
No.
you have to be consistent, right? Because this is not gonna change overnight. You have to keep on practicing. You have to remember your mistakes. You have to be consistent. If something goes wrong today, tomorrow you should not make the same mistake, right? Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, you understood, right? Okay, so when it comes to fear and when it comes to certain elements that blocks you, like certain elements that block you in when you're talking English, what are the elements that block you when you're talking in English? As you said, the first one is fear. What else?
Some lack of vocabulary.
Exactly. Yes, what else?
Confusion.
Confusion. Yes. So what are these actually? What do you call these? We call these emotions, or we call these affectives, right? So in like when we are using English, we have this theory called affective filter hypothesis, right? What we are talking here is like when your stress is very high, or the have a stress වෙලා නම් ඉන්නේ. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ public speaking කරන කවුරු ඉන්නවද මෙතන? ඉස්කෝලේ හරි කොහේ හරි කරපු කවුරු ඉන්නවද? එහෙම speeches කරන, debating කරන එහෙම කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද මෙතන? නැත්තම් ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉස්සරහට ගිහලා කතා කරලා තියෙන කවුරු ඉන්නවද? එහෙම experience එකක් හරි තියෙන කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද?
But in Sinhala.
In Sinhala, it's okay. කතා කරලා තියෙන මේකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා ක්ලාස් එකක් හරි stage එකක හරි. එතකොට බය හිතෙනවද ඔයාලට?
No.
You feel
No.
nervous?
Yes.
Why is it?
Yes. Yes,
You're scared.
definitely.
Why do you feel nervous? It's because you're stressed, right? You're very nervous because you're stressed. You think something might go wrong. In the next minute, something might go wrong. So, like that is what we call an affective filter. Affective, an emotion, right? So, when your affective filter is very high, when you're so much stressed, like when you're too stressed, can you speak? Can you deliver?
No, you stutter a lot.
No.
We stutter, right? Maybe we are talking gibberish. Nobody can understand what we are saying, right? So what can we do then? So when we are when we are stressed, even we maintain the silence even though we know the answer. We are not telling anything. අපි කොච්චර answer දැනගත්තත් කට වහගෙන ඉන්නේ. හරිද? තව මොනවද වෙන්නේ? අපි කතා කරන ගමන් we overthink about grammar while we are talking. Right? That's සමහරවිට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වෙලා නැද්ද? ඔයගොල්ලන් කතා කරන ගමන් බලනවා මේක හරිද? මේක වැරදිද? මොකක්ද ඒ වෙන්නේ? කතා කරන ගමන් ග්‍රාමරය හදන්න හදනවා. මොකක්ද අපි කරන්න ඕන? We have to correct it only after we are done talking, right? We have to make sure that you are not making the same mistake next time, not this time. Right? So we should stop doing what? Overthinking grammar when we are talking. That is second thing that happens, right? When you are too much stressed, right? What is second one? The third one. It's like when you're talking, like when we were at school, we were taught to use the lighthouse method. What is the lighthouse method in public speaking? Lighthouse එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? සිංහල lighthouse එකට කියන්නේ? දන්නේ නැද්ද? lighthouse method කියන්නේ අපි ප්‍රදීපාගාරය. ප්‍රදීපාගාරය කියලා කියන්නේ අපි කතා කරද්දී අපි කියන මේ හැම පැත්තම බලන්න ඕන අපි කතා කරද්දී. හරිද? ඉස්සරහා ඉන්න කටේ වටේ ඉන්න කටේ අර lighthouse එක මෙම light එක යන්නේ වගේ බලන්න ඕන කියලා කියනවා. හැබැයි මොකද වෙන්නේ අපි බය වුණාම අපි ඉස්සරහා ඉන්න කට්ටිය දිහාත් බලන්නේ. බිම බලන්න කතා කරන්නේ. We avoid eye contact. Right? What happens to our, our body language then when we are stressed? Is it natural or is it awkward?
Awkward.
Awkward. Why is it?
You don't have direct contact with your audience. You're
You don't
speaking
have
to the
direct
flow.
contact with the audience, exactly, right? So you're avoiding the eye contact, your body language is not perfect, right? What else? You are keeping your silence, right? You're maintaining your silence, and then you're overthinking about everything. And what else? Sometimes, like even when I was small, I was doing this. Like I memorized certain words, right? I memorized what I have to tell at the assembly. And when you actually just, if you forget one word, what happens?
You get stressed.
You get stressed and you forget the rest as well, right? You
Yeah,
forget everything.
speechless.
Forget totally.
Yes. Is this familiar?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we should not memorize. We should understand. We should comprehend the language, right? So these are the mistakes we do when we are stressed, right? Okay. So then what can we do to solve this? We have to understand that grammar is just what? Grammar is not a starting point. Grammar is just there to make our language, make communication more convenient. Why do you need grammar actually? So like if you like, can you remember the example? I said that night yesterday I dinner had, right? So this was not grammatically correct, right? So why do you need grammar then? You still understood what I said. Why do you need grammar then?
Because they
Make it more
understand
clearer.
time.
To know the time, exactly the time, yeah. And punctuation, like, do you know like what happens when you use wrong punctuation? You can kill a person as well with punctuation, right? Do you know how?
How?
If you put the comma at a wrong place, you can even kill a person. Like if you're commanding someone, මොනවා හරි command එකක් ලියද්දී වැරදි තරකට comma එකක් දැම්මොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම වෙනස් වෙනවානේ කියන දේ. If you say like I like if you just take this instance like Oxford comma කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නව නේද? මොකද Oxford comma කියන්නේ? කවුද දන්නේ Oxford comma කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා? අපි කිව්වොත් එහෙම I had tea bread and butter කියලා කිව්වොත් එහෙම අපි tea එකට පස්සේ කමා එකක් දාලා bread and butter කියන එක අපි එකට තිබ්බොත් එහෙම Oxford කමා එක නැතුව මොකද වෙන්නේ? tea කියන්නේ එක bread and butter කියන්නේ තව එකක්. If you say tea, bread, and butter කිව්වොත් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? 3 elements. If you say tea, bread and butter කිව්වොත් එහෙම bread and butter කියන එකට තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට මේ දෙකෙන් එන අපි කියන්නේ connotation එක එකමද? මේ අපි කියන දේ එකමද?
No, they're separated.
Separated, right? So මේ punctuations වලින් හරිද ඊට පස්සේ tenses වලින් හරිද අපිට පුළුවන් හරි subtle changes කරන්න. There are subtle changes in languages when you're using our grammatical elements in languages, right? එතකොට අපි හරියට grammar පාවිච්චි කරේ නැත්නම් මොකද්ද වෙන්න පුළුවන්? There could be a lot of miscommunications. So in order to avoid that, we have to be what? We have to be proficient in what? In what? We have to be proficient in our grammar. But still, is it the starting point? Do you need to know all the grammar in the world to speak in English?
Nope.
No.
right? So you have to start somewhere. So that is the first thing you can do. So what is the second thing you can do? You have to always give your attention. You have to focus on what? The meaning making process, right? You have to give attention to the meaning and not to perfection. You should not give, like you should actually give some attention to the structure as well, but still, as a starting point, you have to make sure that you are communicating something. So what comes first, meaning or structure? මොකටද අපි වැඩි ප්‍රයොරිටි එක දෙන්න ඕන? අපි කියන දේ අනිත් මනුස්සයට තේරෙන්නද? මීනින් එකටද අපි වැඩි අවධානයක් දෙන්න ඕන නැත්නම් ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක? ස්ට්‍රක්චරලි පර්ෆෙක්ට් වෙන්නද ඕන අපි?
Meaning.
මීනින් එකට අපි වැඩි ફોකස් එකක් දෙන්න ඕන. right. දැන් මෙතනට එනකන් කාට හරි මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මොනවාම හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
No.
Nothing. හරි හොඳයි. හැමෝටම තේරෙනවද ඔක්කොම ටික?
Well, I do. Don't know
Yeah,
about
you
anyone
do.
else though.
Okay. Okay. So now we are going to talk about translations, right? Do not translate. You can see like on the screen, I have told you, do not translate. Why is it? Is translation bad?
No.
Then why is it?
It could
What happens?
change.
It could change what? A lot of things could be lost in translation, right? Because
Yeah.
translation could be a barrier, right? How can it be a barrier? So we talked about it, some time back when it came to like this example where I told you, "Mama bat kya becomes what? If you actually directly translate that to English, what happens?
I
Mama
ri-
bat kya
I
hua? I rise eat,
I
right?
yeah, I see it.
I rise eat. So we have to think in pictures, right? We have to think pictures. We have to have imagination. What is imagination? What is imagination? What do you mean by imagination? You have to have mental pictures, right? If you have mental pictures, you don't have to have the L1. Even without L1, you can describe that mental image using the English language. So if you are doing that, do you have that cognitive load in your mind? Do you have to always translate them?
No.
So if you're talking about something, like if I tell 5 things you can see. So can you tell me your name again, please? This girl? The one who talked just now?
Me?
Yes, you. So can you tell me like 5
I'm a
sentences?
boy.
Random. You're a boy. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm extremely sorry for that. Okay, so can you tell me like 5 sentences, like random sentences?
Random
Don't think about
sentences.
it. Don't think about it. Just yeah.
Okay. Straight coming out of my head. I ran to the park.
You ran to the park.
Yes. I will go play games. Okay.
You will go and play games.
I am having dinner.
You are having dinner. Okay.
Okay. My cat broke a chair.
You're typical of cats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And the last one?
Last one. A spider bit my toe.
A spider bit your toe. Oh my God, I'm really sorry for that. Okay. Okay. So did you actually think in Sinhalese before talking? No, right?
No.
So when
Just thought.
you were talking, did you imagine those scenarios?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you imagine those scenarios, can you describe that easily in an easier manner?
Yes.
Yes. So that is what we should have as learners. We should not always think in L1. It could be Sinhalese, it could be Tamil. We should not do it, and we should try to get that mental image in our mind, and then we have to describe that using English language. So that is what we should do as learners, right? So
Yeah.
පළවෙනියටම අපේ mental image එක අපි ඔළුවෙන් හදා ගන්නවා imagination එක. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට පුළුවන් language එකේ ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට ඕන focus language අපේ target language එක කියන්නේ L2 එක අපි ඒකෙන් එක describe කරන්න හදනවා. හරිද? එහෙම කරාට පස්සේ ඒක successful ද නැද්ද? වැරදෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක කාලයක් තිස්සේ කරන් ගියාට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපි එකට පුරුදු වෙනවා. අපි අර translation කියන එකට පුරුදු වෙන්නේ නැතුව අපි mental images describe කරන්න පුරුදු වෙනවා. හරිද? එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපි ටික ටික මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? What is the difference between fluency and accuracy? Can you tell me what is the difference between fluency and accuracy?
No, fluency is speaking well.
Speaking well.
Accuracy is speaking better.
Clearly.
Yeah, so when we are talking about accuracy, it is about the structures and the grammar and everything, right? But when you say
Yeah.
fluency, it is how fast you can get the ideas, the speed of the flow of ideas, right? So if you want to be fluent, should you stick to translations? Translations.
No.
We have to give priority to what? Mental images and imagination, right? So again, do not translate. Think pictures and not words. So that is the main takeaway here. And when we talk about communicative competence, right? When you're communicating, there are certain types of competence you should have. So we talked about this even before as well. So the first one is grammatical competence. We talked about it. And then social linguistic competence. What is it? What is a social linguistic competence? Social, linguistic, social linguistic competence. What is it? As I said, you should know where and when to use the language, right? So that is social linguistic competence. And then discourse competence. What is a discourse competence? Discourse එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපි කියන්නේ සන්දර්භයක් කියලා මොකක් හරි තැනකට ගියාට පස්සේ අපිට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නකෝ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොතන හරි මොන හරි ඇකඩමික් වර්ල්ඩ් එක කියන්නේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකක් හරි කොහේ හරි වැඩ කරනවා කියලා. ඒතකොට එතන තියෙන්නේ අපිට තියෙන ඇකඩමික් ඩිස්කෝස් එකක්. Right? එතකොට අපිට තියෙනවා we have something called jargon. Do you know what jargon is? Technical jargon, academic jargon, do you know?
Nope.
Jargon is like we have specialized language for that specific endeavor, right? So in science, you have specific jargon like quantum entanglement. So can a normal person know what quantum entanglement is?
No.
No. So we call them jargon, right? So when you are in a certain place, when you are within a certain discourse, you should know what to talk and what not to talk. So that is what we call the discourse competence. And finally, we have strategic competence. That is what we should, that is something we should hone now, right? What is strategic competence? Let's talk about it. You have to be strategic as a learner, right? How can you be strategic as an English learner? What are things you can do to be strategic? Not do anything and sitting and thinking that English might, fall down from the sky.
No.
Then, can others also speak, please? What happened to Malaka?
Set clear goals.
Malaka? You there?
Set clear goals. Analyze
Set your goals,
situation.
right? Yeah.
Analyze situation.
Yes.
Plan action. Prioritize.
Yeah.
Think ahead. Monitor and adjust.
Yes. So there are certain things you can do as a strategic person, right? The first thing you can do is you can continue speaking even when you're making mistakes. So even when I'm making mistakes now, even if I'm making mistakes now, I can just keep on talking, right? So that is the first thing. You never stop speaking. You just keep on talking. That is the first thing. That is the first strategy you can use in the daily life. The second thing is what? So if you cannot explain something in the way it is needed to be expressed, what can you use? You have this technique of paraphrasing, right? What is paraphrasing? So I tell you to, I tell someone to talk about the national identity of Sri Lanka, right? So sometimes they cannot say that in the way I intend them to talk, right? So in that regard, what you can do is like you can paraphrase. You can say that in your own words. What is paraphrasing? What paraphrasing can?
Paraphrasing
Is
is
it
restating someone else's idea in our own words without changing the meaning.
Exactly. You are using your words to express someone else's idea or some other idea, right? Some other concept. So you can use paraphrasing. What is the first one I told you about? Like even when you are making mistakes, you have to keep on talking, right? Second one, second strategy, you can paraphrase, right? Third one, if you're making mistakes, do you break down? You start shivering, okay? Does that happen to you? A total mental breakdown. You should avoid that at all costs, right? You should never break down when something happens. You should not break down, right? You have to keep on, you have to be a part of that process. Even when you commit mistakes, even when you make mistakes, you have to, what? Should you give up? Should you give up?
No.
Next time when something happens, do you give up? Can you promise yourselves that you won't give up or you won't break down? Are you gonna promise yourselves today? Yeah, I hope so, right? Okay, so that is strategic competence. Like as a learner, you have to be strategic, right? If you are competent in the strategies, you will be a good English learner or learner of any language, right? Now let's talk about delivery skills, right? So we talked about English first. Now we're going to talk about delivery skills. We call them paralinguistics, right? So what are the delivery skills you have? So we talked about what? We talked about intonation, our voice, how we, write the fall and rise of what? Our voice, right? That's intonation. And then stress. Where should we stress? Where is the stressed syllable? Where is the unstressed syllable, right? So that is stress. And then we have the pace. What is pace? Pace කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපි කතා කරා intonation එක. අපි හඬ උස් පහත් කිරීම ගැන. ඊට පස්සේ මොකක්ද? හඬ උස් පහත් කරනවා. අපි stress කරන්න ඕනේ. හයියෙන් කියන්න ඕන තැන මොකක්ද? අඩුවෙන් හයියෙන් කියන්න ඕන තැන මොකක්ද? හරිද? What is the difference between research and research?
the way you say it?
Yeah, and
Fluency?
is there a difference between research and research? Like record and record.
Record and read. It's faster.
You have different, like when you say recorder and recorder, recorder is something you play like this. Like, have you played a recorder in your life? Are you doing
Yes.
Western music? That's recorder. Recorder, what is it?
You record something.
You record something, right? So when you're stressing something, when you're pronouncing something in a different way, there could be there could be semantic changes, semantic differences, right? So you should know where to stress, where you should have the syllable, right? So that is intonation and stress. And secondly, you have what? Pace and pauses. You should know where to speak fast and where to pause. Can you explain that to me? When should you speak fast? In what situations?
In an emergency?
In an emergency, yes. And when you are doing a speech, should you talk in a very fast way? Like, you should talk fast. හයියෙන් කියන්න යනවා ස්පීච් එකක් කරද්දි.
No.
Funeral එකක ස්පීච් එකක් කරද්දි මොකද කරන්න ඕන? හයියෙන් කියන්න යනවද? No, you should feel it, right?
Yeah.
අපි දැනගන්න ඕන pace එක වැඩි කරන්න ඕන කොතනද? pace එක අඩු කරන්න ඕන කොතනද? කොතනද අපි pause එක තියන්න ඕන? pause කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපි නතර කරන කතා කරන එක. කොතනද pause කරන්න ඕන? කොතනද pause කරන්න නැතුව ඉන්න ඕන? Right? That is also what? That is also a delivery skill, right? තුන්වෙනි එක මොකක්ද? Eye contact. Eye contact එක තියාගන්න. මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා ඉස්සෙල්ලා වගේ light house method එක වගේ දෙයක් පාවිච්චි කරලා අපි කතා කරන කෙනත් එක්ක eye contact එක තියාගන්න ඕන. Why should we use the eye contact? To do what? Why should we look at the eyes?
So you know that they know that you're talking to them.
They know that you are talking to them, and you build what? Through eye contact. That's the thing you build through eye contact.
Confidence?
Yeah?
Confidence?
Confidence as well as trust. Like when you look into someone's
Trust.
eyes, you build trust, right? So if you're avoiding eye contact, what can we assume? So if your brother, like you just go and open the fridge and you see that your chocolate is not here anymore. Like last night you kept a chocolate there, and today when you're going there and you open the fridge and you see that the chocolate is not there, and you go and interrogate them, right? You go and ask what happened to my chocolate, and if they're avoiding the eye contact, what can you assume?
You can assume
They are
that
ignoring
they
me,
took it
ignoring us.
Why are they ignoring?
because they know that they did it and they don't want to
Exactly.
admit it.
So when you're avoiding eye contact, that means you're not sincere enough, right? You cannot be trustworthy. You should know when to keep eye contact, right? So that is the first one. And body language. What are the parts you use when you're talking? Your legs,
Your hands.
No,
your hands, right? What else?
your head.
Your head, your facial expressions, right? Your posture, how you sit, right? Do you go and sit very close to a priest?
No,
Yeah, you peep into their faces like this.
no.
All right. So that is your body language. Those are called paralinguistics. So if you are competent in paralinguistics, are you a good speaker? Are you a good learner?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. So what are the common delivery problems you have? Sometimes you're like you're talking in a very monotonous way. Your voice is flat. Just think like I'm teaching, like, okay, students, today we are going to talk about English and delivery skills. So if you want to learn, if I do this, would you understand anything?
No.
You'll be sleeping. So your voice should not be flat, right? There should be what? You should
Emotion.
increase the voice when it's convenient. You should drop the voice, right? So we call it the intonation. Your voice should not be flat or monotonous. That is the first thing. And then, what are the other mistakes? When you're nervous, what happens? You talk very fast, right? Or very slow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or you talk in gibberish.
Gibberish, right? So in that case, you should always be what? You should always you should keep your nervousness in check, right? You should always be, you should give attention to your nervousness to keep it like you can never be like 0% nervous, because you're always nervous anyway as humans, but still we should keep that in check, right? And then
keep your cool.
Yes. And then what else do we use? We use fillers. What are these fillers? So have you listened to how cricketers speak at the presentation? So they like, there was a cricketer who's always using like so I went there, like like that is a like is a filler. You can use right, what else? I went there, and then I ate there, I ate this, that is a filler. Like is a filler. Is a filler. Is a filler. So if you're using if you are throwing this everywhere, what happens? You can use fillers, right? If you're using that all the time, what happens?
Distract the audience.
You distract the audience, right? එතකොට sentence එක වැඩිම තියෙන මොකද්ද? ද තියෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔයා කියන්න හදන message එකක් තියෙන්නේ.
What you're trying to say? Oh, yeah, maybe the fillers.
Yeah, so you have to know where to use the fillers, right? You should not always depend on the fillers. You can use it, but you should not depend on the fillers, right? So that is the third thing. What is the last one? So if you're feeling like you're making a lot of mistakes, you're always apologetic, right? You are like
Yes.
you speak in a very very unpleasant way, right? So should you be apologetic
Not all
when
the
you are
time.
speaking? No, right? You should be confident, right? So these are
Yeah.
the mistakes you make, right? The first one is using a flat voice. No intonations, no rises, no falls, nothing. You just use a flat voice, and that is a mistake. Second one, you are too nervous and you are either speaking very fast or very slow or not at all, right?
Yeah.
Third, you use a lot of fillers, like like those, right? And fourth, you're using an apologetic language. So these are the problems with paralinguistics, right? And when you're using, like, when you're making these mistakes, something weird happens. We call it the self-correction paralysis. So when you're like, sometimes, like, when we were beginning the session, someone told that we are scared that other people might judge us, right? We are scared that we might also judge us. Can you believe that? We call this a self-correction paralysis. What is it? What is it? What do you mean by
You think about
self-correction paralysis?
other. You
Just
think
like
about what
other people are
others
judging
think?
us, our mental process also judges us, right? අනික් මිනිස්සු අපිව judge කරනා වගේම අපි කතා කරගෙන යද්දි සමහරවිට අපි grammatically මාරම හොඳයි අපි fluent හරිද? එතකොට අපි කතා කරද්දී අපේ grammar වලට අපි කතා කරන එක ගැලපෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අපි ඔළුවේ internalize වෙලා තියෙන grammar වලට අපි කතා කරන එක ගැලපෙන්නේ නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපේ ඔළුවේම මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? ඒක හැම වෙලාවම correct කරන්න හදනවා. correct කරන්න හදද්දි මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඒක correct කර ඉද්දි මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපේ delivery එක මොකද වෙන්නේ එතකොට? අපි ඔළුවෙන් correct කරද්දි. It gets messed
No.
up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should avoid that from what happening, right? So what are the effective practice methods then? How can you practice English then? So these are the things I told you about. Let me show you. So see, so you can see a fearful speaker here and a confident speaker. A fearful one has no eye contact, very low voice, and very fast speaking, anxious body language. And a confident speaker always has what? Eye contact, clear voice, natural speed, and effortless body language. Right? So, can you tell me, how can you practice? What are the effective practice methods and ineffective practice methods? Can someone tell me what is effective?
Practice with feedback. Practice.
Yeah.
Practice with feedback.
Practice what?
Practice. Practice with feedback.
Yeah. So something we do which is not very successful is like we memorize certain things, like we memorize chunks of paragraphs, or we memorize essays. So that is not very effective. As I said, like if something goes wrong, everything goes wrong, right? So we should not memorize essays or anything. And then what? We are just studying grammar without actually using it. Are you doing this? At school, what we are doing is like we are learning grammar, but we are not practically using it. What happens when you are practically not using something? So you can be very good in music, like you can be very good in theory of music. And if you are not using music, if you are not playing any instrument, what happens? If you're not singing, what happens? Is it useful, the theory? Just think you know everything. You know sa re ga ma pa da ni sa do re mi fa sol la ti do. You know everything. And if you're not singing or if you're not playing an instrument, what happens? What is the use of knowing theory?
Learn it.
Yeah.
If you learn the theory, you will know. But if you know everything about music, but you don't
know how to
music,
sing or play, right? So it's not
Yeah.
it's not of much use, right? So in that case, what you should do is just like if you are giving some attention to learning theory, you should give the same attention to speaking the language as well, right? And then what do we mean by passive listening? So if you are listening to something passively, so someone is speaking and you are not taking anything in, right? Your teacher is speaking and you are just listening, passively listening. You're not taking anything in. Then what happens?
Don't know anything.
Nothing happens, right? So the
Yeah.
teacher would go and you would not know anything at all, right? So in that case, you have to be an active listener, not a passive listener. So these are the things, these are the mistakes we make, right? When we are practicing English. So what are the effective ways then? What are the effective ways? When we are talking, we have to give priority to meaning, as I said, meaning-centric interactions, right? So that is something we can do. And we can always, use a mirror. We can go and stand in front of a mirror and we can have conversations, right? So something I do is I have conversations with my cat, right? So cat is not going to judge you, right? So you can always go and talk to someone. You can talk to a kid, you can go and talk to a cat. It might sound very weird, but still it actually helps, right? You can talk to a mirror, right? Always practice what you learn, right? And then what?
Shadowing
You
shadowing
can do,
concept.
you can shadow, exactly. You can use shadowy techniques, right? So you can do what the other people are doing, like what the other native speakers are doing. You can shadow that. You can shadow the body language, you can shadow how they speak, their accent, right? That is shadowing. What else? When you're shadowing, what are you doing? You're repeating something, right? But you're repeating with variation, right? Do you say the same thing just like them?
No.
So you when you're talking, you have a certain way of talking. Like you're unique. The way you are expressing something is unique, right? So if you're repeating something and if you're using the same tone, same word structure, if everything is the same, is that productive?
No, you're just
No.
copying.
No.
What happens to your identity? Yeah, you should always have your own identity when you are a speaker, right? So in that regard, what should you do? You should repeat what they're saying, but with what? With variations, right? Repetition with variation. What is the fourth method? You should always have a mentor, right? A teacher, a mentor, or someone who knows better English or better language skills, and you should always get feedbacks from them. So that is why, like, you have courses like this. Like, if you are registering yourself with LBBC, you will have mentors, right? You'll have mentors, and they will give you feedbacks on your, on your writing, on your, speaking, right? Public speaking. So you should always have a mentor. So what are the ways? The first is like what? Meaning focused interactions. You should think about the meaning when you're talking more than grammar. Secondly, as someone said, we can use shadowing methods, right? We can shadow what they're saying. Repetition with variation, right? And then, as I said, you can go and talk, you can have casual conversations with your dog, your cat, your mirror, your parents, anyone you want, right? ඔයාලගේ කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක. එතකොට තමයි අපි කතා කරන තමයි native speaker කෙනෙක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැන් තියෙන apps තියෙනවා. හරිද? කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් apps, AI generated apps තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඔයාලට පුළුවන් තරම් ගිහලා පුළුවන් තරම් ඉගෙන ගන්න දේ කතා කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ මොකක්ද? අන්තිමට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කවුරු mentor කෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕන. ඔයාලට උගන්වන කෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕන. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වඩා ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්න, ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වඩා language එකේ තියෙන එක එක වෙනස්කම් දන්න ඒ කෙනෙක් එක්ක හැම වෙලාවම එකගේ ෆීඩ්බැක් එක එද්දි තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි දියුණු වෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලන් මේ හොඳ ස්ටෙප් එකක් තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ අදාළන් තියෙන මේ වගේ ප්‍රොග්‍රෑම්ස් වල රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්නේ. Because you want to learn English. Right? So those are the practicing methods. So shall we do a game now? Because I was talking, for a long time. Shall we do a game?
All right.
Are you okay with this? Like, 2 truths and 1 lie.
2 truths and 1 lie.
Yeah. So I want everybody to tell me 2 truths and 1 lie. And the other people, have to guess what are the 2 truths and what is the 1 lie. And you have to use these structures, right? And when you're doing this, you should not translate. As I said, don't translate anything. Just think of the mental image and then you can produce the sentences. Can we do this? Are you ready? Do you want you want to prepare yourself? And I want everybody to interact, right? Shall we start then? Shall we start?
All right.
Right. Okay, let's go with you first.
Oh,
Can you tell us two truths and one lie?
Two truths and
These,
one
like
lie.
these sentences, like these prompts.
Okay, so you use the starting words.
Yeah.
Let me think. Okay. Could it be easy or hard?
Anything.
Anything, okay. I am fluent with English. Okay.
Yeah, fluent in English. Yeah.
Okay. I have a cat.
You have a cat.
Yes. Don't know though. And I like spicy over sweets.
You like spicy over sweets. So other
Yeah.
people have to guess now. So what is the truth and what are the two lies? Who can guess? Who wants to guess? So she said that she's having a cat. She prefers spicy over sweet. And then what's the first one?
I also forgot.
You should remember what it is.
You have a cat.
You have a cat. You prefer
I
spicy
think
over
third one.
something. You're fluent in English. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm fluent in English. I
Yeah.
have a
So
cat.
who wants
and
who wants to go first? Who wants to guess?
I think third answer.
third one, which
Third
is
is
the
what?
the spicy over sweet one.
Yes,
That's true or false?
That is
false.
true. That is true.
True.
For me, it's true.
That is true. So you don't have a cat?
Yep.
You don't have a cat? Okay. Right. Okay. So thank you. And let's go to the next person. Who wants to go next? So I can remember Hirutika. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Mala.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you can go. You can go ahead.
Yeah,
Can you tell
okay.
us one truth and
yeah.
two lies? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am a student.
You're a
The first one.
student. Uh-huh.
And the second one is I like biryani.
You like biryani? That should be
Yes.
true. Okay.
I go to work.
You go to work. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the first one again?
I forgot.
I am a
You
student,
like
I think.
biryani.
Yeah,
You go to work
I am
and you're a
student.
student. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's gonna guess?
I am a student. I like biryani. Or I go to work.
Which one is the truth?
I think the lie is I go to work.
You go to work.
Is that correct? Is that correct?
Is she correct?
No, wrong.
You go to
I'm not a
work.
student.
You're
I'm
not
not
a
a student.
student. Okay. All right. Next
Yeah,
one.
oh, that makes more sense.
Okay. Next one.
Okay,
Malak?
I will.
Yeah?
Okay, I will
Yeah,
tell
you can
you
go ahead. Yes.
four sentences.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
4 sentences.
Oh,
Okay.
sentences.
So two lies and two truths.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Easy one. Okay.
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 I once had a pet dinosaur. Okay. I'm a university student. I love
Okay.
to study English,
Let's study English.
and also I can speak over 50 human languages.
50 human
Okay,
languages. So that's
Okay.
like that's obvious. Like you can't
That's-
speak in 50 languages. That is one.
It's
bad lie.
impossible. It's
Yeah.
completely
That's one lie,
impossible.
and the fact
And
that
a
you
pet
said
dinosaur.
Yeah.
So apparently he has lived over 1 trillion years ago.
Yes.
Apparently.
So that was obvious
that
because
is-
we like you
Yeah,
never
that
had a
is why
dinosaur, right?
that is why, as I earlier mentioned, it's easy. Okay.
Yeah. That was easy. Thank you very much. Like we can have 2 more. Who wants to go next?
Who is next?
Who's next?
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I'm going to tell
two truth and one lie.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm an intern.
You're an
I
intern.
can speak Thai and Chinese, and
Thai and Chinese.
I'm student.
You're a student. Who
Who-
wants to guess?
Wait, you're intern, a student, you can speak Thai and Chinese.
I think the lies he can speak Thai and Chinese.
Can you speak
No,
Thai and
it's true.
Chinese?
I think student. It's true.
It's true. Okay, that's cool.
You can
Yeah.
speak Thai and Chinese, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
can.
think it is I am a student.
No.
Oh, so it's I am an intern?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So the last person to go. Who wants to go next?
Who is the last person?
The last brave person to ever exist. Who is it?
Yes. Who is the last person?
No person at all.
So, okay. Nothing is a person, apparently.
Last person.
Miss,
Did
this is
Monica talk?
your chance.
Oh, your chance.
Yeah,
Oh,
chance.
you can do it.
Your chance.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Let me think.
you've explained a lot about yourself.
Yeah. So let's say this.
We hope we
I
can
would
find
love
it.
to have a pet lion, right? And
Okay.
the second thing is I can speak in Turkish. And the
Okay.
third one is I'm so much into what? I'm so much into mathematics.
Third
I
one.
think it's the last one.
I
Yeah,
think
yep,
it's the
last one.
last
Last
one.
one.
I think
Last
yeah,
one.
third one.
I
Last one.
think it's the Turkish.
No, I'm
You
so
can
much
speak
into
the Turkish.
mathematics and I can't speak
Oh,
in Turkish.
what? Because it's like you took so long, so we thought it was
Yeah.
that one.
So that was misleading, right?
Yes.
I did that on purpose. You fell into my trap. Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you guys. And okay, thank you for that activity. Now we have to wind up as well. So my message is that when you're speaking in a confident way, right? You use the same English. The grammar is the same, right? Your structures are the same. The words you use, they are also the same. But what is different? You have different power, right? When your English is accompanied with delivery skills, if you have skills in delivery, you use the same language but different power. You become powerful, right? Okay. And then this is something you have to think about. Confidence is not big grammar, right? You don't have to be Shakespeare, right? You don't have to be Yeats or Wordsworth, but you have to be confident in what you know. And confidence is clear and simple speaking. So if you're a beginner and if you want to learn English, if you want to start from scratch, you have to start with clear and simple speaking. So that is where you start, right? Okay. And then you have to always know that you always have English everywhere. And you have to give a pause. You have to pause learning English and you have to start speaking English, right? You have to start speaking English. You have to use that in daily life. You have to use English. And only if you are using English, only if you are using what you are learning, it becomes what? It becomes useful. Otherwise, what happens?
You forget everything.
You forget everything. And why do you want English then? Because English is not just a language. It is also what? It is also capital. Because we started talking about this. Like if you know English, you can do what? You can communicate with people. You can have you can have certain job opportunities. You can have other opportunities. You can have cross-cultural understanding, right? You can do everything if you know language. If you know any language, and English specifically, because English is the global and the linking language. So that is why you have to learn English, and you have to have this pedagogical shift from just learning English for the sake of learning English, and you have to start using it, right? So my final insight is what? What do you think is my final insight? So the first thing is fluency is not just absence of mistakes, right? You will make mistakes. Even I make mistakes. Even Shakespeare would make mistakes, right? So it is not the absence of mistakes, right? Fluency is how fast you can get a flow of ideas, right? So that is fluency. And then what is second one? Even if you make mistakes, you can go forward despite that, despite any of that, right? And the third one is what? English demands participation. You have to participate in this, not perfection. So participation or perfection. So that is what I have to give. Like as you can see on the screen, like today you talk, like you talked with me and we shared some ideas, and that is where we should start. So this is a starting point, or you can always use this as a starting point even if you're a beginner. Or other na English කතා කරන්න පටන් ගන්න. ඔයාට මේක පුළුවන් starting point එකක් කරගන්න බය නැතුව ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරන්න. මොකද මම අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා වගේම ඉංග්‍රීසි කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට communication වලට තියෙන අපේ මේ civilization එක communication වලට හදාගන්න tool එකක් විතරක් අරෙන්න වෙන කිසිම දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. හරිද? ඒ නිසා මම හිතනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ අද ඉඳන් දිගටම ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරයි කියලා. දැන් තමයි තියෙන්නේ වැදගත්ම දේ, the Q&A session. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, you have a question. What is it?
So as you mentioned earlier, you explain us think in English, no? Rather translating Sinhala to English. So I have a question: how to keep thinking in English?
Yeah, so that is what I told you. Like you have to have mental pictures. So when you're thinking about something, like don't just like you look at something and don't try to think in Sinhala first, right? So when you're looking at something, you can have an imagination about it, right? If it's an abstract concept, you can have imagination. If you're seeing something, you can have observation, right? When you see something, just use the English words and phrases you already know, and use them without depending on L1, depending on the first language. It could be Sinhala or Tamil. Don't depend on that. Just try to use the language you already know. You can make mistakes, but still you can try to describe what you see, what you observe, or what you imagine through the L2. That means English. So that is a practice you can always have in your life. Did I answer your question?
Is it advisable for when we comes to speaking fastly, then we cannot imagine?
Yeah, so speed is not something speed is not something you can develop overnight. Speed comes with practice, right? So if you keep on doing what I said, like you will be progressing day by day, right? So after some time only you can think about the pace. So if you start thinking about the pace and then if you start learning English, it's not going to be successful. First, you should be confident in the language. You can use a very, you can use a moderate speed when you're speaking. And if you are very confident, after some time, when you are used to imagination, when you're used to observation and description, then only you can think about the speed, right? So that is, as I said, this is a development. You have steps. So you can't just know English today and you can't be a fluent speaker tomorrow, right? So you have to have patience for that, right? Did you understand?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, right. Any other questions?
Can you give us some like advice for like kind of including me, like struggling with confidence with English?
Struggling with confidence, like something you can do is like you can believe in yourself, because we are humans, right? Even when it comes to language, when it comes to other educational endeavors, we are still humans. We are prone to make mistakes, right? So just take it as your identity. Don't think of yourself like, don't think that you are lagging behind or anything. You should be okay with yourself. You should love yourself first, right? You should think that, okay, I'm also human. I'm doing something right. I'm trying to learn, right? When you are very confident with yourself as a human, then only you will be confident about other things, right? So the secret ingredient of everything is being confident with yourself. right? Start loving yourself. Do things you like to do. And when you're using, when you're learning something, just attach it with something you already like. So something I did was like when I was learning Japanese some time back, what I did was like what I wanted to do was I wanted to, watch anime without subtitles. So that is
Yeah.
why I started learning Japanese, not for anything else. Right? So
Mhm.
if you want to learn something, just connect it with something like movies, like cinemas, just music, something you already like. And so that is how you can have the passion. You have to have the passion for everything, right? When you're doing something, you have to be passionate, right? When you're doing something just for the sake of doing something, are you passionate? Are you
Yeah.
confident? Just for the sake of doing
Sometimes.
something? Okay. So in my case, I have to be passionate about something for me to be confident in that. So you can always attach, you can always bridge connections, like you can bridge your interest, and then from that you can build your confidence. And if you're confident with yourself, your language will also come out confidently. Yes. Did I answer you?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? You can use Sinhala as well. If you're not confident enough to speak in English and ask a question, you can use Sinhala as well.
So how should we collect vocabularies?
Okay, that is also a very important question. So you can't just gulp down a dictionary or a thesaurus, right? What you have to do is, as I said, you have to have interactions. You have to have everyday interactions with English language. So you have to speak with people who already know English, native speakers, right? And then you have to watch certain stuff. Just listen to podcasts and listen to songs, and then watch movies, listen to news, right? When you're listening to something, what happens? What did we, when we were starting the program, we talked about Hindi and Korean, right? So as long as you watch Korean TV series, you will have instincts, right? What is an instinct? Sometimes you don't know the word, but still you can have a sense of that word, right? What this might mean. That is an instinct. So when you're doing that, when you're exposing yourself to the language, right, to different modes of the language, you will be collecting words and phrases. So that is the only way we can actually improve our vocabulary without just trying to get everything from the dictionary itself. It's not going to be successful. Yes. Any other questions? No questions. Crystal clear as the daylight. Okay. No more questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, what is it?
Miss, I'm trying to speaking in English, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes I feel very confused. So I'm fear
Confused.
to I'm fear to make mistakes, and around one how won't understand me, and they laugh me, and lot of thing then comes to my mind. Then I'm stuck, and I'm fear to talking in English, but I love that. I will love that language. Why I'm confused that, but give me advice for that.
Yeah, so first of all, you did well. Even now, we could understand what you said, right? You made sense, right? So that was very good, and you were very brave to talk here. That's the first thing. And you're starting somewhere. See, you're trying. So that is what we need, right? When you're trying, you will actually get the exposure of the language, right? So what you are doing is what should actually happen. When you are speaking in English, right? When you are speaking in any language, if you are always using that, despite of all the errors that could happen, that could occur, right? You are actually doing what you should do. So I don't think that I should give you any advice because you are doing what you should do, right? So keep on doing that. Keep on learning new words, new phrases, right? Watch stuff. Speak with friends who already know English or your peers, right? The more you speak the language, the more you like see and detect your mistakes, and if you learn from the mistakes, then that is what should happen, right? There is no magical way of learning a language. There is no magical way of being confident with the language, right? The more you use, like how do you become proficient in playing the guitar? You have to play it, right? You have to pluck the strings, you have to strum it, right? You have to play the guitar. Only when you play the guitar, you will be proficient in it. I just think like after, like few months back, I started playing COD. Do you know what COD is? Call of Duty. So when I was starting to play Call of Duty, I could not even know, I did not even know where to place my hands or how to use the buttons and how to kill. I did not know anything. But after some time, when I got familiarized with the background and all these characters and how to play and the loopholes and everything, then only I became proficient in playing Call of Duty, PUBG or anything. So you have to have the practice. You have to practice all the time, and you have to be confident enough so you will know the language automatically. There is no magical way of knowing a language. So what you are doing at the moment, the fact that you talk today, despite all the confusions and everything, is what that should happen. So you are doing well. Okay, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss.
Okay. So I think we have run out of time, and we have to wind up as well. So before I wind up, I have to give you a message from the institute, right? So we are having this course, like a free course unit for English. We call it the A to Z English course, right? So it's gonna start from the 22nd, and it's gonna take 3 months, right? And 2 days per week, right? So it's gonna continue for three months, and you can get registered. කියන ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් මේකට register වෙලා මේක කොහොමද ඔකට free දිගටම කරන course එකක් A to Z English course කියලා LBBC එකෙන් කරන්නේ. ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඒකට මේ join වෙලා they're going to start from the very basics, like from the letters and then the words, right? And then they are gonna they gonna mentor you on speaking, right? And how to use English in daily life. All these things would be covered here, right? So if you have the privilege of joining, like if you have some time, some free time, and if you want to actually learn the language, if you're passionate about English, I invite you to register, and then you can proceed with the course, right? So that is the invitation from my end. And if you don't have any other questions, and if you can always contact LBBC to know about the course, right? And if you don't have any other problems or any other clarifications, then we can wind up. Miss Kavindi?
Yeah, I hope you all got the information about the free English course. Now we are moving to another valuable speech of our senior lecturer. Now, in that you will be enriched as a student, the career path after completing A-levels. For that, I will invite Dr. Pulasti Gunawardana, who is the Chief Academic Officer at LBBC and a senior lecturer at Sri Jayawardhanapura University, visiting lecturer of NIBM, ESOF, SEGIS, and ECU. Dr. Pulasti, over to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Pulasti. So hope everyone got something today lesson. So I want to talk to you about what come next and who you want to be. If I ask you from you, who you want to be in future after your O levels and A levels, can you tell me who you want to be? Anyone?
I want to become a marketing manager.
Sorry?
I I want to become a marketing manager.
Marketing manager.
I like to become a scientist.
Oh, okay, great. Anyone else? So, what you have navigated from your education path. So, how you gonna be drive your dream to be whoever you want? Which career path you are going to follow? Which stream you are going to follow after from A levels to O levels? So in the country where it is there's a very competition around, right? And opportunities are earned through sheer determination. But remember that passing whatever the exams, such as O levels, A level, is not just the end. It's just a beginning where your career isn't just getting a job. So it's about catering life of purpose, growth, and contribution to Sri Lanka and whatever the beyond where you go. It could be abroad, it could be Singapore, in whatever European country, likewise, or Oceanian countries, such as in Australia and all. So, how do you build strong career? What is your plan for that? Do you have a plan? Or ඔබට plan එකක් තියෙනවද කොහොමද? දැන් එක ළමයෙක් කිව්වා එක දුවෙක් කිව්වා මාකටිං මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕන කියලා. right? එතකොට කොහොමද මාකටිං මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්නේ?
දැනට මං H&D එක කරනවා ඉස්සරහට. මාකටිං ස්පෙෂලායිසේෂන් මාකටිං. එතකොට මේ දවස් ටිකේ ඉන්ටර්න්ෂිප් වලට ඉන්ටර්විව් යන ගමන් ඉන්නේ. ඒ අතරම මගේ ටොප් අප් එකක් කරලා එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් and knowledge පැත්තෙන් qualifications හදාගෙන මාකටිං එක්සිකියුටිව් කෙනෙක් වෙලා step by step මගේ goal එකට යන්න තමයි idea එක.
Great. Anyone else with their dreams? Dream careers? So anyway, you have anyone, depends on your career. You have followed in your A levels in biology, commerce, art, or technology subjects, whatever you have done, right? ඕන වගේ subject එකක් කරලා නැත්තේ. તો කොහොමද ඊට පස්සේ හදාගන්නේ? Right? So once you are doing whatever the courses, such as in finding your career, you need to follow extra courses as well, right? And marketing පැත්තේ යනවා නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සීමාවදි කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? නැත්නම් double AT. When you are doing A levels, while doing your A levels, you can do double AT. So use this as a foundation, right? So if university is a path, and for many it is through UGC selection, you may know. So aim for a degree that align emerging field such as like IT, engineering, or any science subject. As another kid said, he want to be a scientist, right? Likewise.
Yes.
So, or it could be a business, something as a business manager, marketing manager, right? But don't limit yourself in a traditional route. So Sri Lanka's economy evolving with tourism, apparel, IT, BPO, and renewable energies. That is actually booming sector these days, right? So when you think about building your career, do not limit yourself to a single path or title. A career today is not a straight line. It is a journey made of learning, experimenting, failing even it could be, adjusting and improving. So whether you choose university education, professional qualification, or whatever the vocational training, entrepreneurship, or employment. So what matter is not label, but value of building yourself, right? So one of the most important foundation of your future is the ability to communicate, right? What Miss Cheka speak with you, right? And it is this the where the importance of English comes. So in Sri Lanka, where Sinhala and Tamil are our heart languages. So English is not just a study for exam. English is just a bridge global opportunities. It is the language of global knowledge, technology, research, business, and opportunities. Why it is important? Because 80% of the world knowledge is from research papers to technical reports or tech tutorials. Is in on English. If you search to Googling or whatever these chat GPTs and all nowadays we have, or even YouTube, right? These things are with the English language. So in our job market, the proficiency in English can be double your salary prospect, or it is making the way easy to climb in the career to become a manager or higher level of the career, whatever it is. It could be a doctor, it could be a professor, or whatever, right? So thinking about call centers, tourism, multinational companies like Mars Holding or Dialogue Asiata or Deloitte in an IT side. There are many multinational companies. Don't stop with the local companies. Go beyond. Win the world, not the local, right? Not only the local, right? So improving your English does not mean speaking perfectly. It means speaking clearly, listening carefully, reading widely, and expressing your idea with confidence. Read books, watch educational content, listen to podcasts, speak with fear to mistakes. Don't afraid of being making a mistake when you are speaking English, right? Read newspapers, English ones, and practice every day. So this effort you put in English now will reward you in future, right? Or rest of your life. So practice in speaking confidently. You can, there are many clubs such as Toastmasters in Colombo or online forums, right? So read English newspapers like Daily Mirror or international ones like Guardian or news websites such as BBC, CNN, likewise. Or you can watch TED Talk, TED Talk, right? Or any kind of TED Talks, right? English isn't just a foreign language, it's just empowerment. So without it, you might miss a scholarship abroad or remote freelance work on Upwork. Or there are many other platforms as well. Or even collaborating with the international teams. Invest time on it will pay dividends, right? In future, right? Not now, but in future, definitely. It will drive you to somewhere better. So other thing is, next level is the technology. Technology is the real game changer in this era. So it is the post-pandemic world. Teach learning with the tech isn't an optional, it is an essential part. So Sri Lanka is positioning itself as a tech hub nowadays with initiatives like Colombo Port City and national digital strategies likewise. So whether you are in a career in arts, business, science, whatever, Learn the basic coding such as like Python via platforms like Code Academy, or data analysis with Excel or Google Sheet, or even with whatever the other AI tools such as like ChatGPT or even Grok. Right? There are many more. Right? You can search them. You can learn them. Right? So understanding how to use computer, the internet, productivity tools, and emergent tools such as like artificial intelligence, it will give you powerful advantage. Use technology not only the entertainment purpose, but also learning something. Online courses such as digital libraries, professional communities, and global platforms allows you to learn one's inaccessible skills. So if you learn how to use technology to solve problems, increase efficiency, and create value, you will always remain relevant in the job market. So why you should focus on tech? So jobs in software development, cybersecurity, digital marketing, even entertainment purpose such as gaming. How many of you play games online or whatever the computer games or whatever? It could be a mobile games. How many of you? Tina games ගහන කට්ටිය. කවුරුත් games ගහන්නේ නැද්ද? So anyway, so there are many tech stuff you can learn. Even non-tech field like agriculture or whatever these marketing. So jobs, as I said, cybersecurity and digital marketing also similarly. So companies like WSO2 and Virtusa are hiring local with the tech skills and even non-tech skill one, such as like artists, such as I said, in something like we can take this so this is something like art, right? Drawing something, creating. Artist doing whatever the UI part. We said user interface. It is creating someone and coding someone else. Likewise. And there are online courses, digital libraries, professional communities, and global platforms where it allows you to learn one's inaccessible skills. So if you learn how to use technology to solve problems, increase efficiency, and create value, you will always remain relevant in the job market. Remember, technology level, the playing field. A student from Sri Lanka, from we'll say the Jaffna, can compete with the one forum such as Silicon Valley if armed with the digital skills. So, however, academic knowledge, English, technical skills, and technology alone are not enough. So what truly distinguishes successful individuals are their soft skills. So what are these soft skills? These include communication, teamwork, leadership, time management, adaptability, problem solving, and emotional intelligence. So these skills determine how well you work with others, how you handle pressure, and how you respond challenges. Employers nowadays looking people who can think critically, collaborate effectively, and take initiative. So they want individuals who are reliable, respectful, and willing to learn, eager to learn new stuff, new languages, new technical knowledge. So what you need to do is develop these skills, not in outside the classroom, but also through life experience such as group work, volunteering, part-time jobs, sport clubs, and community involvement. There are many ways you can learn these things. So every interaction is an opportunity to grow. Another critical factor in this career building attitude. You have to work hardly and target to gain the skills, right? So other thing is discipline. Be disciplined with your time. Be resilient when things do not go planned. Failures is not just opposite of the success. It is just a part of the plan. It is part of the success stories, right? So when you go through whatever the success story, there are many failures they had in their life. So don't be afraid of be failing, right? It is the first attempt actually, right? Failing is another meaning of the first attempt. So what matters, how quickly you learn from failure and move forward. Soft skill build resilience. So in a countries facing economic challenges, adaptability and positive mindset are the key. So learning time management with tools like to-do list and networking through events at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institutes. These skills will help you in interviews where behavioral questions like tell me about time, overcome failure. These are the common ones. So beyond these, consider other vital areas, lifelong learning. The world changed fast. Commit to continuous education. Read books like Atomic Habits by James Clear or Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Right? So entrepreneurship like countries like ours needed very much, right? So small, perhaps home-based business or social media platforms like startup can give a guiding you. And also you need to have the financial literacy, learning budgeting, saving, and investing early. With inflation and currency fluctuations, understand tools like fixed deposit or even crypto cautiously. Health and well-being, balance ambitions with self-care. So as a future of the country, as you are, so you carry great potential and responsibility. So country needs skillful persons, ethical and forward-thinking individuals like you need to practice those in future to become a future of the country. So who you are willing to be and contribute to whatever the position, positive society. So whatever your career you choose, aim not only for one person, personal success, also for the integrity, service and impact. A truly successful person is one who uplifts others while growing themselves. So I'm not taking long time. So as in closing, remember these things. So passing whatever the exam has proven that you are capable of hard working. What comes next will be test your vision, discipline, and character. Invest your English, embrace technology, develop your soft skill, and keep learning continuously. Do not stop. Learn. Right? So believe in yourself. Stay grounded and never stop striving to become a better than where are you in yesterday, right? So every day you need to grow. So my young friend, as step forward, remember, success isn't just about titles or money. it's about impact. So contribute to your country or wherever you are, whether by innovating in tech, persuading heritage, or leading in business, right? And any questions before wind up Q&A session? You may ask any questions, even Sinhala language. Sinhala una taan kamanne. No questions. Hurry to running up. Okay, then thank you very much, and may your future be as bright as the sun. And I'm handing over to the co-host or the host.
We appreciate your participation in today's webinar. Thank you for joining today's English webinar. We hope this session has given you a clear idea of how this free 2 months English certificate course will support your learning and confidence in English. We look forward to continue this journey with you in the upcoming session. Thank you once again and hope to meet you soon. Good night.